Days of Our Lives shock. Owen Kent returns, inside the terrifying chloroform attack on Stephanie Johnson. Salem is about to face its darkest shadow in 16 years. For Stephanie Johnson, the past has never truly been buried, it has only been waiting, lurking in the shadows, biding its time. Days of Our Lives is hurtling toward a climax that has been 16 years in the making, and this time, the danger isn't just a threat, it's a promise. Days of Our Lives spoilers have confirmed what many eagle-eyed fans deduced from the recent winter promo. Wes Ramsey is officially reprising his role as the maniacal Owen Kent, and he has set his sights on Stephanie Johnson once again. But this isn't just a simple blast from the past. This is a calculated, dangerous, and deeply personal home invasion of Stephanie's hard-won peace. The nightmare returns. The chloroform attack. It was supposed to be a quiet evening for Stephanie, Abigail Klein, and Alex Kuryakis, Robert Scott Wilson, after weeks of dealing with creepy fan mail regarding her secret identity as romance author Anastasia Sands, and the ongoing suspicion surrounding her abusive ex, Jeremy Horton, Stephanie finally felt a sliver of safety. But safety in Salem is always an illusion. According to inside sources, the terror begins anew when Stephanie finds herself alone at the Salem Inn. She hears a noise in the other room, a subtle creak that raises the hairs on her neck. Assuming it's Alex playing a joke, she calls out his name. But the figure that emerges from the shadows is not Alex. It's Owen. Before Stephanie can even process the face of the man who once locked her in a morgue drawer, Owen moves with terrifying speed. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Owen uses a chloroform-soaked rag to subdue Stephanie, just as he did in 2009. The screen fades to black as Stephanie's world dissolves into unconsciousness, leaving viewers to wonder if they've just witnessed the beginning of the end for the Johnson daughter. Why Owen Kent is Stephanie's ultimate nightmare. For newer viewers, the name Owen Kent might not ring immediate bells, but for longtime fans, he represents one of the most psychologically twisted villains in recent Salem history. Unlike the mustache-twirling DiMeras who often operate from a penthouse, Owen was the quiet guy standing right next to you. As documented in the Salem historical records, Owen first appeared in 2009 as a seemingly innocent gardener for the Kuryakis family, but he was living a double life as an informant for the DiMeras. When Victor Kuryakis kidnapped Stefano DiMera, E.J. DiMera ordered Owen to kidnap Philip Kuryakis' girlfriend, Stephanie Johnson, as leverage. Owen took Stephanie to his father's mortuary and held her hostage in a morgue drawer. While she was his captive, something in Owen snapped. He transitioned from hired thug to obsessed admirer, convinced that Stephanie actually belonged with him. He kissed her, he controlled her, and when rescue came, he vanished into thin air after his transport was hijacked. Now, 16 years later, the obsession has clearly festered. The stalking. Connecting the dots for months, Stephanie has been looking over her shoulder. The fan mail she's been receiving for her pseudonymous romance novels has escalated from adoring to alarming. While everyone in Salem, including Stephanie and Alex, assumed Jeremy Horton was the culprit, the return of Owen suggests a far more sinister reality. Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Owen has been in Salem longer than anyone realizes. He's been watching, he's been waiting, and he's been eliminating the competition. The attack on Alex Kuryakis. Remember the Halloween incident where someone tried to stab Alex in Horton Square but only got his coat? And what about the subsequent poisoning of Alex's soda? At the time, the evidence seemed to point circumstantially toward Jeremy, but new evidence suggests that Owen was the hooded figure lurking in the shadows. Owen knows that Alex is the man who now holds Stephanie's heart. For someone with Owen's possessive pathology, that makes Alex a target. The failed stabbing and the poisoning weren't random acts of violence, they were messages. They were Owen testing his ability to get close to Alex, toying with him before he makes his ultimate move on Stephanie. The DiMera connection. A war reborn. The chaos doesn't stop with Stephanie. In a twist that has Salem buzzing, the DiMera siblings have recently been abducted. While the town scrambles to point fingers at the usual suspects, a darker theory is emerging. Could Owen be responsible for the DiMera kidnappings as well? Consider the evidence. Owen was discarded by E.J. DiMera after the 2009 fiasco. He was arrested, humiliated, and forced to run while the DiMeras continued to live in their mansion without consequence. For a man like Owen, who holds grudges like precious gems, that imbalance would be untenable. Kidnapping the DiMeras serves multiple purposes. It financially fuels his ability to stalk Stephanie through ransom money. It exacts revenge on the family that used and abandoned him. And it throws Salem into such chaos that no one will connect the dots back to the quiet gardener who vanished years ago. Days of Our Lives spoilers suggest that Owen isn't just acting on obsession, he's acting on a fully fleshed out plan of domination and revenge. Steve Johnson on the warpath. If there is one glimmer of hope in this dark tale, it's that Stephanie Johnson is not alone. She has a father who once wore an eye patch and terrorized the entire town, and he is not about to let anyone harm his little girl. The winter promo that confirmed Ramsey's return showed a chilling scene. Steve Johnson, Stephen Nichols, grabbing a hooded figure in the park and roaring, "Where is my daughter?" That hooded figure is Owen. Steve, Patch. Johnson has been through hell and back for his family. He has rescued Stephanie from Owen once before, and he is prepared to do it again. But this time, the stakes are even higher. Owen has had 16 years to plan. He knows Steve is coming. He may even be counting on it. The promo suggests a violent confrontation is inevitable. Steve isn't known for his patience or his mercy when it comes to his children. If he gets his hands on Owen Kent, the Salem PD might not have a perpetrator left to arrest. What happens next? The morgue redux. History has a cruel way of repeating itself in Salem. When Owen took Stephanie in 2009, he held her in the last place anyone would think to look, a morgue drawer at his father's funeral parlor. With his father Walter Kent presumably still in the picture, or at least the location still existing, sources hint that Owen may return to the scene of his original crime. Days of Our Lives spoilers tease that Stephanie will wake up in a familiar yet horrifying setting, trapped in a drawer, with limited air, facing the man who has fantasized about this moment for 16 years. But Stephanie isn't the frightened young woman she once was. She has survived Jeremy Horton's abuse. She has built a career and a life. When she wakes up, sources say she will initially try the same tactic that nearly worked the first time, playing on Owen's emotions, pretending to understand him, looking for the slightest crack in his armor. The question is whether Owen will fall for it again. He is no longer just a lovesick gardener, he is a fugitive with nothing to lose and a grudge to settle. The fallout for Alex and Philip's legacy. This storyline doesn't just impact the Johnson family. Alex Kuryakis is Stephanie's current love, and his family history is inextricably tied to Owen's origin story. Owen was a Kuryakis employee when he betrayed them for the DiMeras. Alex's uncle, Philip, was the man dating Stephanie when she was first taken. With Philip currently off canvas, Alex carries the weight of the Kuryakis name in this conflict. Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Alex will blame himself for not protecting Stephanie, for not realizing the threat was closer than they thought. His guilt will drive him to make reckless decisions, potentially putting himself directly in Owen's crosshairs. A tale of two villains. Jeremy versus Owen. The writers have masterfully laid a trap for the audience and the characters. For weeks, the focus has been on Jeremy Horton, Stephanie's ex who once tried to drown her. He seemed the obvious candidate for the stalking and the attacks. But the introduction of Owen Kent into the equation suggests a brilliant misdirect. Jeremy may be guilty of many things, but he isn't the current threat. In fact, spoilers hint that Jeremy might actually be in danger himself, mistaken for Owen or caught in the crossfire of Owen's obsession. The question fans are asking is whether Owen is working alone. Days of Our Lives has a long history of villainous partnerships. Could Jeremy have crossed paths with Owen in prison? Could they have formed an unholy alliance against the woman who rejected them both? The road ahead: rescue and revenge. As the chloroform takes effect and Stephanie slips into unconsciousness, Salem braces for the fallout. The coming weeks promise a harrowing journey into the mind of a sociopath, the resilience of a survivor, and the fury of a father pushed past his limits. Days of Our Lives spoilers confirm that the road to rescue will be brutal. Brady Black, Eric Martsolf, will join Steve in the search, utilizing his resources and his determination to bring Stephanie home. The Salem PD will scramble, but as always in this town, the real rescue will likely come from those who love Stephanie most. For Wes Ramsey, the return to daytime television is a homecoming. Known to modern audiences as the villainous Peter August on General Hospital, Ramsey brings a refined menace to the role of Owen. His real-life relationship with GH star Laura Wright, Carly, has kept him in the soap press, but his return to Days marks his first soap role since leaving Port Charles. Final thoughts. Salem will never be the same. The return of Owen Kent represents everything that makes Days of Our Lives compelling after 60 years on the air. It honors the show's rich history while mining it for fresh, terrifying drama. It places legacy characters like Stephanie and Steve in immediate, visceral danger. And it reminds viewers that in Salem, no villain ever truly stays dead or captured. As Stephanie Johnson lies unconscious, at the mercy of the man who once pretended she was a corpse, one thing is certain: the nightmare is just beginning. And when she wakes up, she'll be face to face with a ghost who has waited 16 years to make her his again. Will Steve find her in time? Can Alex overcome his guilt and fight for the woman he loves? And what does Owen Kent really want? Revenge, romance, or total destruction? Stay tuned to Days of Our Lives, because the answers are coming, and they're darker than anyone in Salem could have imagined.